2, and Mary and Chris are on their way to Gosford, where Mary is to be the key speaker at a UFO convention. The fallout from the polygraph test is still continuing.
But how do you expect then, you know, your regular Joe Blow to be able to believe it if the people that are having the experiences don't believe it themselves?
Well, that's what is hard, because ultimately, you know, people have all these things going on. They've got no way of explaining it, so many of them think they're just going crazy.
People can believe that they're Jesus. People can believe that they're, you know, that they're listening to, you know, beings from another world. But whether or not it's actually happening is a completely different proposition.
Yeah. Well, there are people that have actually seen them. This is the problem. But getting someone who's actually going to go and do a lie detector test to tell you they've seen them, most of them are whistleblowers. You
just said
you know?
That there's that many. How many people in America who believe? So how hard is it to get somebody that's going to pass a lie detector test or multiple lie detector tests about whether or not they've seen an alien?
Well, some may very well be able to do that. But, you know, Greg was one of those that's still coming to terms with the possibility.
With the evidence presented so far being discredited, Chris is now wondering whether his mother may be delusional.
She's my mum. I love her to bits. I would like to think that nothing would come between us, but she's a bit balmy, and she probably will get balmier too. You know, I've told her I'm gonna pick her up at some point. And she's gonna be, you know, wandering around the streets. But you know, I mean, I said to your mum, you're 2 steps away now.
Oh, this isn't bad, is it? No, this will work out well. Hello, ladies. Nice to see you again. Right, well, we'll
where do you need
we'll
to
go up in front there.
Okay.
Looks like Hugh's up there, so we'll...
Right.
Hello, Hugh. How nice to see you.
Today, Mary will be the guest of honour at the Gosford UFO Society. Chris will get to witness the high esteem in which Mary is held by the alien community.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. What you're hearing there is something that seems to manifest after contact. And this is what I call evidence of an experience, because you don't start to come out with strange languages if it's just an hallucination. They often will have out-of-body experiences and have this experience of going through walls. Yes, you could say, are they sleepwalking? But you can't be outside with all the doors locked from the inside and sleepwalk. Some of them, I think, may be even interdimensional beings, and some of them may even be from our future. We just don't know. This is the trouble. From whistleblower sources that I've spoken to, have said there might be at least 50 or 60 that the military actually know about that haven't been disclosed. But perhaps it's many, many more. And I call it a bit of a catalyst to waking up to a greater reality. And I think it's really important to remember that it's a journey. And it's a journey of joining the dots, even if the dots encompass the universe.
Only on 2 occasions have I struck people who feel they've been abducted.
Yes.
One was quite interesting, that he was abducted from about the age of 3 through to about the age of 14, when he then moved from England to Australia. And he said since then he's had no further contact. Now, how do they follow them through their life if they remain in an area where he moved such a dramatic distance? They seem to have lost contact. Is that normal or not?
I don't think it matters where you are on the planet. If they've got your energetic imprint, if you like, they know where you are. It just may be that they've not needed to work with him at certain periods in his life.
Yes. My question is that those languages that were spoken, those that spoke the language, do they know where they come from or who they are in relation to? Because I've recognised one of those languages.
You recognised one of the languages, did you? Do you have a sense of where it's from or how you know about this language on any level?
I hit the wall, didn't want to hear about aliens, didn't want to talk about aliens, didn't want to listen to aliens, alien language, look at alien symbols, talk about crop circles, talk about orbs, all the other stuff that's just done with aliens.
How many of you have actually seen a UFO? There's quite, I would say, what, Joanne, how many? 50%? More. It was nice to see him there listening to my overall take on my work. I think he found it interesting to just not only see his mum, I suppose, doing her thing.
You kind of just push the play button on Mum and she just, you know, she can talk for hours on this stuff. It's incredible. I mean, and she doesn't seem to get tired at all.
So that's 25, and that's 50, 75, 85, all that kind of stuff. And eventually, you know, hopefully we actually see the spacecraft at the end of it. And that's
it's you know, it's just draining. I mean, I left home a long time ago, so we don't spend a lot of time together. You know, she's got her life, I've got mine.
And as we gradually start to come to terms with it, maybe we'll actually get them landing and saying, hi, I'm from wherever, or whatever. Okay.
Hey, Mum.
We're all set to go now,
Are you finished?
Yes, I'm done.
I'll speak tomorrow.
It's day 3 and the Rodwells have travelled to Canberra. The stress on their relationship is starting to become evident.
Just like a UFO. Look at that. Just needs an engine now, doesn't it? One of those anti-gravity things.
What, you ready to go?
Chris is only interested in conventional science and wants empirical evidence, and his mum knows it. With this in mind, Mary has arranged a no-holds-barred public debate with an eminent astrophysicist in the prestigious Shine Dome, owned by the Australian Academy of Science.
There's my crazy old mother up there, you know, talking to people about aliens. So, no, look, I'm sure, look, it's going to be really interesting to see you go head-to-head with the men of science.
Let's see what I can do tonight.
Yeah.
And hopefully you won't put me in the home afterwards.
I've already got the form signed, Mum. Don't worry, I'll cut you away.
Thank you, my darling son. So much, so nice to be loved.
The topic for tonight's debate: should the public be told that we are being visited by aliens? And Mary is going to have her work cut out. Her opponent, Dr. Lineweaver, has been researching this topic for decades, and he's on home turf. Many in the audience are his students.
Well, welcome everyone to what's being called the UFO debate.
Some of what I might say could certainly be challenging to many of you because we still live in a consensus reality that says that aliens don't exist. Well, I hope that I can at least give you a little bit of an overview of why I believe they certainly do. A gentleman came to me and he said, Mary, he said, I've heard you're open-minded. He said, there's no support groups for this. He said, I am considered a loony if I talk about it. And he said, and I've had contact with non-human intelligences, but not only myself, but my whole family. You get a whole range of people, housewives, small children, a little boy of 5 saying to his mum, I don't mind going through the walls and they teach me more on the ships than I learn at school. Where is this coming from?
When you have somebody who says, oh, a child, for example, says, I saw a boogeyman. I saw something that scared me. You don't say, the boogeyman is in there, because that'll scare the child out of their wits. And I don't think it's necessarily good to tell people who have seen aliens and been abducted to say, yes, you did see that, they do exist, when you have what I would consider very flimsy evidence to support that. And I don't listen to people talk, I look at evidence and hard data. I hope, Mary, that when you can tell your clients to bring a digital camera next time, because for 50 years we have been seeing very blurry black and white images of UFOs and spacecraft and photoshops, versions of them. Every time I see here's a UFO, here's a spacecraft, they're all blurry and out of focus. That is just inconsistent with the progress in technology, and they're so easy to put in your pocket and just carry it with you. Go to bed with it, and when you wake up in a spacecraft, take a picture.
And the fact that it's treated with such lightheartedness and often ridicule is half the problem. That's what I'm dealing with all the time. So this is part of the reason why you don't hear about it, and there's the elephant in the room and nobody talks about it. So let's go to the next part of what I would say to you. There are cartloads, absolutely cartloads now of images, people just taking pictures and having a UFO in them. People who don't believe in UFOs are actually seeing them.
In focus.
Absolutely in focus. When I met the ex-Defence Minister of Canada, the Honourable Paul Hellyer, he worked in the White House, privy to many, many secrets. He actually saw one of these alien beings in a hangar. And he had alien technology from the Roswell crash that he had to slowly secrete out to corporations, such as fibre optics, night vision, digital chips, Teflon, all come from reverse engineering of the craft. Thank you very much.
So one question, did aliens invent Teflon?
Look, I'm going from my research in 1,600 cases in terms of their experiences on the craft and what they either tell me from conscious memory or they tell me through hypnosis. They describe, yes, genetic material is taken, but they're also taught quite amazing things from the origin of the species right through to quantum physics.
But Einstein, was he visited by aliens? What do you think?
The sort of expert physicist, he sort of really, he really had a kind of quite a flippant attitude.
And he said, this is mathematics of the future. And this was
who is this guy?
Professor Brian Josephson, if my
Brian Josephson, yes, I know him. Was he the only one who said this was mathematics of the future? Because Brian Josephson is fallen into quite some disrepute. I was at a conference with him about 2 years ago, and he's really gone off the deep end by most scientists would say that. So
both of them said exactly the same thing.
Mary.
So maybe both of them have a problem.
Can I ask?
I don't know.
Well, we do have more than 2 mathematicians in the world.
Well, I did shift, and it wasn't a shift necessarily a quantum leap in my belief of the subject or the or UFOs or whatever. It was just the fact that I think it was a pretty natural response that someone's attacking Mum, and I felt, attacking my little old Mum.
Given the fact that we've just made these amazing discoveries where we've almost had to sort of reinvent the way that we approach physics over the last 100
fundamental
years.
re-understandings of things.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Is it entirely possible that we could do the same thing with a subject like extraterrestrials?
Well, we'd try. We'd love to be able to do that, but we need some evidence.
The essence of his argument was show me the evidence, which is the essence of the whole argument. I mean, it's always going to be the essence of the argument, unless we can see tangible evidence.
I'm going to put the proposition to you, and that is that we have been contacted by extraterrestrial life, and we should tell the public that we are not alone. Can I see all of those in favour? It's a victory for the negative, ladies and gentlemen, but maybe it's a loss for humanity.
Whether or not you believe or you don't believe, you can't take away from the fact that, she's out there fighting a fight that she believes in, and I think there's a lot to respect about that. So, she did good, Mum. She did good.
Chris and Mary Rodwell are attempting to resolve a 20-year-old family conflict by exploring Mary's beliefs together on a road trip.
How'd you sleep after last night?
Well, I woke up in the night with it going through my mind, probably thinking of some of the better answers I could have given if I'd had time to think about them. So I was a bit frustrated. I thought, I could have said that. I could have said that. But You can always do that in retrospect, can't you?
You know, I think you did all right, Mum.
Thank you. I mean, I'd really sort of like to know where you are with things now in terms of, you know, looking at this
Looking at my crazy old alien mother.
Yeah, if you like. You know?
Oh, look, I'm still, look, Mum, to be honest, there's nothing I've really seen over the last couple of days that has made me sort of change the way that I look at the subject. I still I haven't seen anything that's really kind of blown my socks off. I think you presented really well. You know, Mum was under attack. Here's Mum doing her thing, and who's this guy to treat her like she's an idiot? Clearly you believe, or you are passionate enough to go out there and face ridicule on a daily basis, and for that I think you're very brave, and for that I was really proud of you. And it was like, good on Mum, she's up there no matter what you think of her, and she's hammering it out with some professor of astrophysics at ANU, and for that, you know, I take my hat off to you. Whether or not I've sort of softened my view on the subject, probably not.
Okay. Well, when we get to Sydney, I've got something lined up.
I'm sure you have. I'm sure I wouldn't have anything other than that.
Which again may just add to that more empirical hard evidence that you're looking for. So I think that's going to intrigue you. Okay?
Well, you're just gonna leave me hanging like that, are you?
Well, you're going to have to wait and see then, aren't you?
You're full of surprises, Mother.
I know.
Full of surprises. You keep me guessing all the time.
Yeah, that's
I'm sort of, you know, ducking and diving all over the place.